Fans First Sports Network listeners, welcome to the Call Sheet Video Breakdowns. This is Coach Kevin Smith with you, host of the Call Sheet podcast on the Fans First Sports Network, and now doing some video breakdowns with you for our YouTube channel here. Really thrilled to have an opportunity to dig into some of the more interesting plays or schemes or events each week in the NFL. I did my first one the other day on the Pittsburgh Steelers run game in their victory over the Green Bay Packers in week 10 of the season. And today we're looking at the Houston Texans, one of the most fascinating teams in this NFL season, and their victory over the Cincinnati Bengals in week 10. And specifically, we're just going to look at a couple plays here from their game-winning drive when the Texans went 75 yards to kick the game-winning field goal as play ended and earn a 30-27 upset road victory over what had been a red-hot Cincinnati Bengals team. So Houston, again, a phenomenal story right now. They've got probably one of the weakest rosters in the NFL. They're a team that won 3 games last year. There's a lot of conversation about whether or not they'd even win that many this year. And yet here they are, 5-4. If the season ended today, the Texans would be in the playoffs. All right, so what are they doing well? Obviously, they're getting great play out of their quarterback, rookie CJ Stroud, who's on pace to win the Rookie of the Year, and not just the Rookie of the Year, but is now in the MVP conversation. And he put some of that stellar play on display in the closing stretches of their win on Sunday against Cincinnati. So let's take a look at the 2 big key plays from that final drive. All right, so we're going to start here with the Texans taking over on they have a 3rd and 6 here. This is really a crucial play. It's 3rd and 6 from their own 29-yard line. There's 42 seconds left to play. They took over with 1:33, ran 2 plays, and now it's 3rd and 6, 42 seconds left. This is the pre-snap look that they're getting. They're in a 2-by-1 set with 2 backs flanking Stroud, and they're getting what looks like quarters coverage from the Bengals. So quarters coverage, the defense is essentially declaring a de facto man scheme. All of their defenders are going to carry the receivers over which they're aligned vertically. If they release vertically, they're going to carry them in what is essentially man coverage. If they run some sort of short breaking route in or out, they're going to release those receivers and look to double on a vertical route. So really for Stroud, what's he looking for here? He wants to get a pre-snap read as to whether or not this is true cover 4, true quarters, or if Cincinnati's going to rotate into something else. Okay, so pre-snap looks like quarters. What do they do with their motion? All right, they're going to motion. This is Tank Dell, a wide receiver lined up as a running back, and they're going to motion him out and align him wide to the right. So you see something interesting here. When Dell motions out, you see Cincinnati's safety, number 23, who's walked all the way down onto the ball. We'll back it up just a hair so you can see this movement, right? You'll see him here start to bluff as he falls off the line. But look at Stroud. Stroud's head is to the left here, and he's not looking at the safety. And so you have to wonder, does Stroud see this? Is there going to be a rotation by Cincinnati? And if so, does Stroud see it? Okay, so we let it roll. He kind of walks back up. Stroud starts clapping his hands. And now look, Cincinnati's ready to bail. Stroud clapping his hands means the snap is imminent. The Bengals are bailing. It looks like they're going to check out of cover 4 into something else. But does Stroud see it? We don't know, man. We really don't know yet. As he receives the snap, though, watch what he does. He gets the snap, looks right, comes back left, throws a strike up the seam to Dalton Schultz, his tight end, for a big first down into Cincinnati territory. All right, let's back it up and look a little more closely at what just happened. Dell motions out. The Bengals bluff. Stroud's looking left. They bluff again. Here they go, man. All right, what are they getting into here? What is Cincinnati getting into? They've rotated really from a cover 4 shell into a cover 3 look. How do we know it's cover 3? Because number 23, who initially started at the line of scrimmage, he's rotated all the way back to the deep middle third, and you see Cincinnati's 2 corners beginning to fall off to man the deep outside thirds. Meanwhile, the 4 underneath players are all taking the underneath quarters the zone coverage in the underneath quarters, the flats and the hook curl areas. All right, Stroud's got to be able to see this in order to know where to go with the football. How do you beat cover three? One of the best ways to beat cover three is by running two seams vertically, trying in essence to create a 2-on-1 on that middle safety. And ideally, you look them off, right? You try to move him with your eyes towards one of those seam routes, and then you come back to the other. And that's exactly what Stroud is doing here. If you can see in the video, we'll get a better look at it in a minute, but if you can see in the video, he's looking right. He's looking right. He's moving the safety right, and then he's going to come back to his left where he's going to hit Schultz up the seam. Here it is again, looking right, see him reposition, come back left, boom, hit Schultz up the seam. All right, let's get a better look at this from the end zone view. Okay, so here we go. Dell motions out. Stroud communicates something to his receiver to the left, right? You see the safety to the right of your screen starting to drop off. He realizes that Stroud's not ready to snap the football yet, right? So he'll fall back in. Stroud makes his communication call. Ball is snapped. Here's the interesting question, right? Does Stroud realize it right now that this is cover three? All right. He just received the snap. And look at his head. Look where his head goes. His head is right. He's got to be looking now and locate that safety and understand, oh, okay, they've rotated. They're rotating into a cover three look. Think about how quickly he's got to be able to do this, man. He's got to be able to see this in real time as it's happening. Oh, man, it's cover three. Where do I want to go with the football? All right, well, I'm going to look him right. I'm going to look the safety right. I'm going to look at my receiver up the right seam. And then quickly I'm going to pivot and I'm going to come back up the left seam to my tight end. That's exactly what he does as we let it roll. Boom, there's the throw. Perfect throw. Again, here, let's watch it live. We'll run it through. It sure helps that the linebacker slips and falls, but I think this throw was going to clear the backer anyway. It just would have made it a tougher catch for Schultz. Look right, come back left, ball on point. First down. Beautiful stuff from the Texans there. Okay, so now what happens? Right now what happens is they're now going to have to figure out how to get up the field and spike the football. They only have one timeout left. They don't want to use that timeout, but interestingly, they don't spike it. They've got the ball on the 46. They run up to the ball. They snap it. They run a quick out. They throw a completion, get the ball out of bounds. The clock is now stopped with 14 seconds left. So it's 2nd and 6 on the plus 42, 14 seconds left. You got to figure that they need to get a little bit closer to have a realistic shot at a first down. They do have a timeout, so they can throw anywhere on the field. How are they going to attack the Bengals? All right, so they get into sort of a stacked bunch to the top of their formation here. They have the two receivers or the two backs in the backfield again. Tank Dell's lined up by himself at the bottom of the screen. Cincinnati's pressing Dell and looks to be in some kind of a combo coverage to the top. All right, what do the Texans do here? Okay, so they're going to axe motion or exit motion with the back just to give Stroud an opportunity to look at the linebackers. What are the linebackers doing? The backers push out a little bit on that exit motion, and Stroud's going to work really what's like a pick play to the top. Watch Dalton Schultz at the top essentially run interference for receiver Noah Brown, right? He's really just going to run a pick play here, and they're going to look to hit Brown on a little underneath route. He's going to run a little slant underneath of Schultz, and they're hoping to pick up maybe 7-8 yards here and get into a makeable field goal situation. All right, so we run it. Look at Schultz kind of running interference. There comes Brown. And as you see, the two Cincinnati defenders are going to converge on Brown. They're going to drop him here at about the 34. Cincinnati's going to have Houston's going to have about a 51-yard field goal attempt here from the left hash to win the football game. No easy kick at all. Except that's not what's going to happen. Watch this, man. I'm going to run it back and we'll play it all in full. Watch the effort by Noah Brown. This is not going to be a 51-yard attempt. Why? Because Noah Brown's going to catch, split the defenders, and run for an extra 14 yards. What an effort. What an incredible effort by Noah Brown, right? Noah Brown. Let's watch this one more time, right? Here we go. Exit motion, interference by Schultz, slant route, two Bengal defenders there, should make the tackle. Brown runs right through them and all the way down to the 20-yard line, where from there, the Texans will have a much more makeable field goal, which they will kick and win the game 30-27 in a thrilling game. All right. Noah Brown. Let's talk about this real quick. Noah Brown, 7th-round draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys back in 2017, a guy who spent 5 years in Dallas and only had 82 total receptions and 3 touchdowns over that time, picked up by the Texans in the offseason. Coming into the Cincinnati game, Brown had just 14 catches for 267 yards and a touchdown, and he goes off against Cincinnati. 7 catches for 172 yards. It's a different guy every week. The receiving core in Houston, other than maybe Robert Woods, who's at the back end of his career, it's pretty hard to name anybody in that receiving core. You got Noah Brown, you got Tank Dell, you got John Mechie, you've got Robert Woods. I mean, you got Schultz at tight end. He's the big name. But man, CJ Stroud is doing it with really a bunch of cast-offs, a bunch of guys who are either unproven, like Mechie and Dell, or just are on the back end of their career, Woods, or a journeyman guy like Brown. Incredible job with what they're doing there. Man, hats off, obviously, to CJ Stroud for what he's doing, but also to D'Amico Ryans, to Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator. They're doing a phenomenal job of protecting Stroud, allowing him to feel comfortable in the pocket, and he is having an historic season. Might be the best season by a rookie quarterback ever. And I know that sounds like hyperbole, but when you go look at the stats, 15 touchdowns against 2 interceptions. No rookie in history has ever done anything like that. 289 passing yards a game. That's the best of any rookie in history so far. So some phenomenal stuff from the Texans. All right, that was fun, man. I enjoyed breaking that down. Hope you guys got something out of that. And I will be back regularly here on the FFSN YouTube channel. And for you Steeler fans, over on the SCN, Steel Curtain Network YouTube channel, doing weekly breakdowns. So hope you've enjoyed it. This is Kevin Smith for the Call Sheet Breakdowns. Have a great week, everybody.